Traveling, huh? It's such a vibe. For many of us in our 20s, it's something we've all done at least once or twice, right? Some folks are on the road way more often, soaking up every experience they can. But you know what? Traveling has totally transformed over the years. Remember when planning a trip meant flipping through a dusty travel guide? Now, it's all about scrolling through Insta for inspiration. Seriously, think about it. Back in the day, you'd have to rely on word of mouth or those heavy books filled with maps and suggestions. Now, you can hop on social media and see real-time updates from friends or influencers, sharing their adventures with breathtaking photos. And don't even get me started on travel apps. They've made booking flights and finding cool places to stay a total breeze. So, let's dive into how travel has evolved, comparing those old-school adventures to today's jet-setting lifestyle with awesome events. You're gonna love this. When I was younger and I traveled, the hotels that I stayed in were pretty much all the same. You know, big chains like Holiday Inn, Hilton, Best Western, whatever it may be. As long as it was a name brand, I felt safe. These days, travelers are opting out of the big name brands and instead choosing smaller boutique hotels or Airbnb. It just gives them more character to their stay, and they can also save money by not booking through the big agencies. Oh, and don't forget those hostels. There's no better way to save money while traveling than staying in a hostel. Just make sure you keep your stuff close if you opt for that option. Back in the day, the only way to travel was by car, plane, or train. Sure, there were buses, but that was more of an option for poorer travelers. These days, depending on where you live, you might have other options. Do you live in a major city? Well, you might have subway systems that connect to different parts of the city. If you live in a smaller town, maybe not so much. But another way of getting around these days is by bike. In fact, many major cities have bike-sharing programs, which you can rent a bike for a small fee. Not only is this a great way to get some exercise, but you'll also see more of the city than if you were stuck inside a car. Let's not forget public transportation. In most major cities, they have a pretty extensive network of trains, subways, and buses that can get you anywhere you need to go. And then there's ride-sharing services. Thanks to technology, nowadays you can get a cab with just a few clicks of a button. Plus, if you're in a pinch, you can even rent a scooter and drive it around. So how exactly did we take pictures before the age of smartphones? Well, for starters, we had disposable cameras. That's right, cameras that you would buy, use, and then throw away when the roll was done. I remember taking a bunch of pictures when I was little and then being disappointed because the majority of them turned out blurry. The other option was having a digital camera, which meant you could look at your pictures right away, though you still needed to carry around the cords to connect them to your computer. And let's not forget about those photo booths. Man, I used to love going to those things with my friends. Then came the age of social media, and suddenly everyone became photographers. We started taking pictures of everything. Literally, we'd go out to dinner and spend more time taking pictures of our food than actually eating it. Of course, we would post these pictures online so everyone could see how great our lives were. Nowadays, we've gone back to only taking pictures of special moments. Like, yeah, we still take pictures of our food sometimes, but for the most part, we reserve taking pictures for family gatherings, vacations, or hanging out with friends. Remember when we used to pack our bags for a week-long vacation with at least 3 outfits for every occasion? Well, those days are over. These days, people are trying to travel light and only bring what they absolutely need. This is especially true if you plan on flying because airlines charge for checked baggage. So if you want to save some extra cash, then you'd best travel light. Another reason why people are packing lighter these days is because of the rise of fast fashion. Back in the day, if you wanted new clothes, you'd have to wait until the next time your mom took you shopping or you went with your friends to the mall. These days, thanks to the internet, you can shop from the comfort of your own home and find cheap clothes that are trendy. So there's no need to lug around heavy suitcases anymore. After all, you can buy new clothes wherever you go. If you ask me how I planned my trips before the age of the internet, I'd probably say I didn't. My parents basically did all the work for me. They researched where they wanted to go, made the reservations, and bought the tickets. The only thing I had to do was pack my bag. But for the older crowd, they did things a bit differently. When I was growing up, my grandpa would pull out this giant atlas and we'd look for places he wanted to visit. He'd mark the locations on a giant map and then he'd start calling travel agencies to get quotes. Of course, this took a lot of work and time. These days, planning a trip is super easy. All you need to do is hop onto Google and type in your destination, and it'll pop up with travel packages and flight prices. If you want something more personal, you can always contact a travel agent, though I doubt they're as popular as they were back in the day. I think back in the day, the main reason people traveled was to visit family or friends. Sure, they may have taken a vacation here or there, but for the most part, they weren't really traveling for leisure. These days, people travel simply because they want to. Maybe they feel like seeing the world, or they need a break from their daily routine. Maybe it's a chance to reconnect with themselves or explore a hobby. Whatever the reason, nowadays, people travel a lot more for leisure rather than necessity. Before the age of smartphones, travelers had to pack a lot more items than they do these days. For starters, you needed to bring a camera, whether it was a disposable or digital. You also needed to bring a phone, chargers, and an adapter if you were traveling abroad. Oh, and don't forget the maps. No GPS back then. You needed to bring a physical copy of whatever city you were visiting just in case you got lost. These days, your smartphone pretty much does everything for you. Plus, since most of us have unlimited data plans, you don't need to worry about getting an international plan when you're abroad. In fact, you don't really need to pack much at all these days. A passport, your wallet, your keys, and maybe a tablet or laptop. Oh, and don't forget your smartphone. Back in the day, the only way you could find accommodations was by contacting a travel agency. These days, you can book your hotel rooms online in seconds. In fact, you can even read reviews from other people who have stayed there before. Not only that, but you can also compare prices from different websites, so you're guaranteed to find the cheapest rate. And don't forget about Airbnb. People are opting out of hotels and instead renting houses or rooms in whatever city they're visiting. It's cheaper, it's more private, and it's a great way to experience the local culture. When I was younger, I used to bring an MP3 player filled with all my favorite music. Then I upgraded to a portable CD player. Yeah, I was one of those kids. Eventually, smartphones replaced both of those things. And now we have a portable movie theater in the palm of our hands. And don't forget about video games. Back in the day, you could only play them at home or at an arcade. These days, you can play video games anywhere, anytime. In fact, I've seen more than a few people playing Go in the middle of Times Square. It's pretty crazy. Isn't it wild how our style has completely flipped from what it used to be? Back in the day, dressing up was like a whole ritual. You couldn't even think about stepping into a restaurant without rocking a collared shirt and some nice slacks. It was all about that polished look, right? And let's not forget about the ladies' dresses were basically the uniform for any outing. I can still picture my mom trying to turn me into a little gentleman. She'd insist I wear a vest and tie, and I'd be like, no way. I remember one time, we were all dressed up and ready to go, but I flat out refused to wear that tie. So guess what? We ended up staying home. Fast forward to today, and it's a whole different ballgame. Women can flaunt anything from sweats to chic outfits, and guys, well, they've got way more freedom too. It's all about comfort and expressing yourself now, and honestly, I'm here for it.